Welcome. My name is RODGON. I'm gonna turn this off so that we don't get a glare. Perfect. Awesome. So I was going to have to do some work anyways. So I figured I might as well hop on here and do it while I have you guys on stream. So we are going to combine this. And right now we are going to be working on a project that I have been doing with Marvel. So we're going to be doing a couple of different thingies here. Why is my option for a new layer not there? Nice. Cool. All right, so we're going to do some refining to my work. Essentially, that's all I'm going to be doing. It's just a matter of getting in here and refining little tiny things and then inking it. And I am going to go and use Adobe Illustrator for inking. So if you guys want to stay around and actually see how I would approach that, you guys are more than welcome to sit around. I will be taking questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them right now, because this is gonna be the best time to be ever, because I normally don't go on here and do digital work live. Normally we're doing a lot of more just hand-drawn illustration work. So if you have any questions about any digital stuff, especially with Procreate, right now is your best time to ask, okay? I just went to see a movie. I went to see A Quiet Place. That one was really good. Sup, RODGON, how are you doing today? I'm doing quite well, thank you. Alpha the Artist, I like your name. Jay Disney, good evening. Hi, Rod. Hey, all. How's it going, guys? Sukun, you're up late. Once I finish this movie, I'll hop onto my computer to watch the proper screen. Happy arting. Thank you, appreciate you. Do you know any good digital pen for non-iPad tablets? Pretty much anything Wacom. Anything Wacom or anything Huion is gonna be actually really decent. I like Huion tablets. They are very, very, very affordable. And they are very, very good. So, and I'm not sponsored or anything. I have a Wacom, and I've had Huion before, and they're pretty much on par. Like the quality, everything, even the features, you tend to get a better bang for your buck when you go with a Huion. Not to bash Wacom or anything, but they are incredibly expensive. And a lot of the times that makes it inaccessible for anyone to really get one. So now, once the Apple Pencil came out, it was like, oh, it was a game changer, because finally Wacom had like a competitor. Finally, you know, like they finally had somebody that was actually at their level. And when Procreate came out for the iPad and they didn't want to release it for the PC, it was like, oh, even cooler. Oh, now with like this program, it's like magical. It compares with Photoshop. Ah. Essentially, Procreate allowed people like me to create a whole studio within a modular sense. And the Apple Pencil and the iPad have immensely played a big role in my ability to be able to do my work from anywhere. Because I can edit, I can create, I can record, I can do audio, I can do video, I can do everything with it. And even though I'm not a huge Apple like person, I really am not, it's actually one of their better products. Like if you don't get anything else, like my computer, I got a Mac Mini mostly because the Apple chips, the M1 chips were just amazing compared to anything that was in the market. And I needed something for video editing, and the Mac Mini rendered things better than my $3,000 PC. So it was like, okay, interesting. Maybe there's something to this for right now. And sure enough, it's been kind of useful to be able to edit things quickly and actually work on things without my computer crashing or thinking that I have to upgrade it every so often. So we're doing exaggerated red Hulk. Any more questions? Hello, buddy. How's it going, Sketch Blogger? Thanks. I'm surprised to see you streaming right now. Oh, well, I just got out of a movie and I'm bored and I have to get this work done anyways. You know, so I might as well go down here and get it done. A lot of the times I procrastinate beyond my means, beyond the like normal means, because procrastination in a little bit sense is fine. You know, like, but when you let it control aspects of your scheduling because you took too long to like get to it or any sort of thing like that, then it becomes an issue. Then it becomes being irresponsible instead of just being like quirky or like getting some rest. It becomes just uh, irresponsible to you, you know, like you still have to have responsibilities to yourself because especially when you're doing projects, when you're doing freelance work, you need to be on top of that. And a lot of the time, since we don't have the inspiration to do it, you know, we just kind of like put it in the back burner, but we can't really do that all that much, especially if you got people relying on you, waiting for you to be able to create what they need to with what you give them. If you sign up for a job, might as well do it at 1,000% efficiency. All right, my lips would wrap around. Connect back there. Let's see. Thanks. What is your favorite villain? My favorite villain, especially in Marvel? Villain. Marvel villain. Let's see. So, I did like Doc Ock and Ultimate Spider-Man. I liked how he took control over Peter Parker's body and he was just like a badass doing it. But he's not my favorite. Let's see. Who is my favorite villain? From Marvel. I can't really think of one that I like can say is my favorite. I like Juggernaut, but they always portray him as an idiot, and I don't like that. Let's see, who else? Man, why can't I think of anybody like fun? I just can't think of anybody. I mean, Doctor Doom is really, really cool. I like Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is he's the only villain that I could honestly say that he's a villain for the right reasons. Right? Most of the time it's like he's a villain and he would actually know how to run like a country, like the world. Like he would probably run the world incredibly efficient, like he does his own country of Latvia. So I think if anybody had to take over the world, I think Doctor Doom would do a pretty good job. Let's see, is that too many teeth? Or not enough gums? I think it's not enough gums. Need more gums. There you go. And maybe smaller fangs. We don't need to enhance the fang aspect. We still want to have it there because he's a Hulk. But we don't want to like make it part of the personality of the show. He's not a vampire. Okay, let's even out the front teeth. And yes, little tiny minuscule things like that, minuscule, are the ones that make the drawing, the illustration, the concept art. It makes the storyboard, all that stuff better. It's always in the little baby details. Okay? Sometimes the most subtle lines, the little tiny thick to thins, is what gives the character depth. And even a minuscule break in the line work can provide character. Even the most minuscule line can give you another aspect of storytelling. Okay, so my chin is gonna be right here. Let's see, Robert's chin. Here's my jaw, it opens up. My lips are opening. Here's my teeth, and then my chin would stick out right here. So it'll be and a little bit of overlap. There you go. All right. Cool. Let's round it out. Let's go with a nice little butt chin. I don't know if he has a butt chin. Does the Red Hulk have a butt chin? I'm gonna go on butt chin. Nice strong butt chin. Gonna give his lips a little bit of plumpness by doing slight overlapping lines. Very, very slight overlapping lines. Very minuscule overlapping lines provide that depth. Then I'm going to clear this because that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be cut in like that. And then we get to draw the bottom teeth. Bottom teeth are going to go around like a cylinder. So the first thing I do is I identify the bottom row, the top bottom row, right? That's what I determine. I go all the way back to my molar, and then I go and I create this, the real basic shape, right? Kind of looks like a cylinder, kind of looks like a scroll type of situation, right? That's the first thing that I ever do. Whenever I'm trying to draw teeth like this, or like mouth with super exaggerated teeth, I find my back teeth, my back molar, and then maybe that's a little bit too much for this one. So let's go here. Okay, so once I identify that, I can add extra ones in the back. And it creates my teeth. That's my molars. My molars have a base. The ones in the front don't. So that's how we very quickly can draw our teeth. You can even combine these and create molars. And you can extend it out at the back as much as you want, forward as much as you want. Change the size of your teeth so that it doesn't look the same. Add yourself molars, fangs, whatever. Just change a little bit of the variety so that it doesn't look very simple. Because teeth in general have a little bit of variety. Not every tooth, especially for someone that gets punched all the time, like the Hulk, you wouldn't have very, very perfectly shaped teeth. A lot of this would be blocked by the tongue. So my tongue is going to come in here, and be resting inside of my mouth, which would block a little bit of my molars. Can create some depth by overlapping some lines and creating some texture. Cool. And then from there, the connection to my jaw tapers as such. Right? You have the back of your jaw that goes up to your ears. But in this case, it's going to taper out and go out towards my ears. My ears over here. So it goes from the back of my jaw up. From the back of my jaw, it goes up to my ear. So this one needs to be a little bit. There you go. This is my cheek, the inside of my cheek. So this is all going to be in shadows. Okay, so the same thing over here. This is all gonna be probably in an 80% black. And then the inside of my mouth, this part is 100% black. So once you get to this inside, you create an extra level of depth by creating contrasting shapes and colors next to each other. In order to make the teeth stand out, I need to make some element really, really dark inside the really, really light colors that will be for the teeth. By creating a dark element, as such as the inside void of his mouth, everything else stands out. You can even gradually fade that out, I guess. Just to create extra texture. That creates a little bit more volume, a little bit more depth. You can do the same thing down here. The gums can be nice and dark underneath. The ones on top as well, you could make them darker, but you know, too much black, it's gonna just make them look weird. And then if I really wanted to, I can create even slobber and stuff like that by creating simple elements like that, but let's keep those elements to the side. Maybe like, would he be doing that? Would that look good, or will just look better if I just fill this in? Hold on. Let me experiment for a little bit. I don't know. I guess once I start adding color, it's gonna be different, but I think a slight gradient is gonna be better. There you go. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so this is my lip, and then this is my jaw. My jaw would stick out a little bit here. If that sticks right there, that sticks out right here. But maybe we make that part a little bit smaller. Yeah, that looks a little better. Okay, cool. Let's a little bit more in, creates a shadow, overlapping line. Cool. Then from there, this is my eyebrow ridge. This is gonna wrap around, this is gonna wrap around, and this is my temple. This becomes a temple. My temple should be, according to the way my head is rotated, it should be a little bit less than that. So I'm gonna bring the jaw in a little. I'm also gonna bring in the ear a little bit. Just to make sure that it looks like it's in the right place. Remember, my sketch is just a template. My sketch is not a final determination of anything. It's just to guide me as if I was just using it like what it is, a sketch. All right. Shadow, a little bit of depth to the lip. Maybe some lines going to the side, because that's how your mouth would work. Let's see what else. Okay. And then we go on to the head. The head, again, I like this area. I like this front part a lot. That has a nice flow. And I might have to make the shape a little bit less, like tall for the front, so I can make his head look even smaller. I know they requested it to be about that size, but there you go. Maybe make the forehead a little bit smaller. Yeah, there you go. That looks a little better. Then I can add more grungy lines right there. Because he's supposed to be really angry. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Wow, so fast with your pencil. Amazing. What brushes do you use on Procreate? I'm just using a pencil, the Derwent pencil. That's it. Like, that's what I'm using. I normally just use that to sketch. Not because I'm particularly fond of that pencil either. That's not necessarily even the reason why I use it. It's just the first one that I used ever. And then I never really took the time to learn any other brushes. It's just the one that I have used. Like, I just use a soft brush, a hard brush, and probably an airbrush, like the soft and the hard airbrush. And that's pretty much it. Like, I like to keep my tools simple because then I know what to use in every software. Like, if I have to ever go on to a different type of software, all I have to do is find a hard brush, a soft brush, or an airbrush tool. And then I can just create the same thing in any single one of those formats. Any format with a creative tool that has that sort of specs, which they all have one, because they're all based on the same things. They're all based on Photoshop copies. Then if you know the basics, you can create with any of those programs. If you are always like, waiting on a certain tool, or you're using a certain program just for a specific tool, it becomes a little harder for you to be able to transition to different programs because you're relying on a specific tool from a very specific program to be able to accomplish what you need. Does that make any sense? Hope it does. Then this one needs to be up here. Whenever you make changes to one side of the face, aka if I'm making changes to the neck right here, the jaw structure, this has to match the other side always. So a lot of the times what people don't do is they'll adjust one side, right? But then they don't adjust the other, and then they wonder why their piece looks off every single time. They're like, oh, I don't know why it's off. Why does it look off? I don't know. I don't know why it looks off. And you're like, well, it's because you keep on changing one side, but you don't adjust the other. It's kind of like when you like tighten something up with like screws. You know, you have to go on quadrants. You need to go one side and then the other, and then go back and then go back, and then make sure that everything's nice and tight. Right, so I like that face. I do like that head more. Now, what we do when we get that, we can use the warp tool, and we can place it back exactly where we need it. All right, that's roughly gonna be the placement. Bring it in. Remember, our line work is just a template that we can use to be able to play around. All right, with that, bring it in a little bit. There you go. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. Gotta make sure we keep the proportions right, because they wanted a really big head character. That was a very specific like consideration that they wanted. So we have that, and now we can make it the size that we need. The size has to stay about the same as in the sketch. So now we have our Hulk. Cool. And then we start going into the body. Let's see, hold on. You guys are asking, hey, I made it back, good stuff. How do you pick your canvas size? You choose the size of the canvas as you would see it, as you would want it to see it in print. For example, with these, this is going to be digital stuff, and right now I'm just using it as a sketch because I'm going to use a program called the Adobe Illustrator to finalize the designs in vector format so that I have perfectly clean lines. So there's absolutely like no way that I can't get the detail that I want and stuff like that. So that's why I use Adobe Illustrator to ink. What I'm doing right now isn't necessarily inking. Right now what I'm doing is just cleaning up my sketch lines, and I'm going to use the other program to be able to finalize my drawing. To get like the super crisp lines and stuff like that. Hello, sir. Quick question about drawing copyrighted characters. Are there any ways of drawing them and monetizing our prints? Yeah, it's called, you can essentially, it's a parody clause. So whenever you're doing something that has the character basis of a different like franchise that's not yours, as long as you're making it your own style, right? You are allowed to make a representation or a fan interpretation of that and sell it as a parody of that branding. So it's a matter of just making sure that you're not copying the material, that you're making your own interpretation of the material. All right, let's see. This has to have a forearm and a bicep all in one. So shoulder, our bicep has to be smaller than. My arm is going to impact, and then my bicep's going to be right here. Perfect. My overlapping forearm muscles connect to the middle of my arm, and my shoulder would be around. My elbow would be around. Cool. Dope. I love knowing anatomy. I love knowing anatomy. Makes me happy knowing anatomy because I can draw the stuff. So we gotta make it him impacting the ground, but the Hulk doesn't have nice and soft like hands. He has like big, bulky hands. So I gotta make sure that it looks nice and bulky and padded. And then it's gonna be like and he's smashing a robot, like an Ultron robot. So maybe I'll have to look up an Ultron robot so I can draw like that. Bigger biceps. And then we go to his shoulders, his pectoral muscles. They have to be all ripped because he's the Hulk. But where's his other arm gonna be? His other arm is over here. So this is the back muscles. That's the shoulder. So this is the forearm. So stop working like that stupid Derwent pencil. Why does it do that sometimes? I hate it. Alright, so this is our forearm into our hand. We have our knuckles. Identify the knuckles first so that I can draw my fingers coming out of my knuckles. Right. I can make my fingers right there really quickly. I have the separation of my thumb to that. Do you use 300 DPI? I actually, yeah, I think I use 300 DPI for these. Most of the time, I want to be at higher than 300 DPI. I want at least 400 DPI. It's just because I like to zoom into my art and I like to make sure that I can get a lot of detail without it looking pixelated. And a lot of the times you can't do that if you don't have a higher DPI count. So let's see, this is back muscle, shoulder, tricep, forearm. It's a lot of bumps. That doesn't look right. Stop, stop. All right, hold on. All right, let's break it down. Like Lester Brown. No, Lester Brown is. So we have our pectoral going into our shoulder, going into our bicep. Cool. Okay. Okay, perfect. That works just nice. Bicep, forearm, bicep, tucked in forearm. So if our forearm, our elbow's gonna be right here, that splits our forearm and our forearm muscles. Wrap around our bicep and then they wrap around our bone structure that goes here. So this is actually tucked in a little bit more. Boom, looks into our wrist. And right here, in order to draw the bicep going this way, I just need to draw the forearm going into the middle of this, which means that it would be going this way, I think. But that doesn't look very good and appealing, so I'm just gonna kind of cheat it and go like that. Since it's not gonna be the main focus anyways, it's perfectly fine for her. Okay, you can even make the hair a tiny bit shorter so the head doesn't look so big. Just a little bit shorter. Let's see if they don't complain about that. I hope they don't, because then I can add more muscles to the back. So then I have my back muscles. I have my shoulder. My shoulder leads right here. But that back muscle would keep right there, dig in there. So it would be kind of like that. Pearl, yeah, that looks nice. Into my forearm, perfect. And since this is all gonna be in the back anyways, it's gonna be in slight shadows. because if you didn't know, if you put anything in slight contrasting shadows, it looks like it's further back. So we would push everything here back with a deeper tone. Especially since we're gonna be making this car exploding, right? We're gonna be making this car like go in like flames or whatever. So that would be creating a light source here. So it would light up the palm and the edge of this, but it would darken the backside of the hand. I also want to change the eyes. They look a little bit too close together. They don't have any type of like distinction, and it doesn't look very good. When it's too similar, when it's too parallel, when things look too the same, it takes away from the illusion of it being an illustration. It just looks fake. And I like to represent and try to copy and replicate life. I like to make sure that it looks as real as I possibly can make it. And a lot of the times it involves very slight unevenness. Very slight sometimes. Derwent pencil, if you don't stop being a little pain in the ass, I'm going to stop using it. Alright, since I moved that, I moved the forehead, so the forehead is now here. So now the little bump is there. Cool. Round that out a little bit more. Bring in the hair a little bit more on this side because we shortened it. And we gotta make the hairline a little bit better. That looks too horrible. We gotta make it zigzaggy. Because that's how hair works. I think she has a buzz cut too on the side. Alright, so we have that. The head is a little too wide. So my ear's in the wrong spot anyways. So my ear would be around here. And then the head would be a little bit in. And then it's a fade. Because he's a military guy. It's like a Marine, I think. This is not the Hulk, it's the Red Hulk. I believe it's like the general, whatever. This doesn't look right. Change that to his forehead. It's gonna be right there. I just need to extend it a little bit more. Because I'm running out of space now. I want to make the other eye smaller. How do I want to make it smaller? Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, there you go. What am I missing here? I'm missing something. Something looks off. Middle of the face, middle of the peak of the hair. This would extend a little bit more, or this would come in a little bit more. I think that would come in a little bit. And our forehead curves in around our eyebrow line coming in, and then our cheekbone will be right there, which means that our cheekbone's right there. And the ear probably wouldn't be seen, and then that angle and the jaw structure would actually come out from underneath a little bit more. Cool. Took a second, but we got it. This pencil sucks. All right, we have our Hulk. We get to go in and clean it up later. Add some muscle rips, because he has the big muscles. Yeah, Quiet Place, the prequel was really good. It was actually really, really good. I highly recommend that movie. Like, that series of movies has actually been quite, like, pleasing. But this one was particularly good. Like, had me at the edge of my seat, honestly. I was like, ah! So we have forearm, elbow, and then our tricep would be right there. But not so sharp. Be a bigger muscle, but smoother. Okay. Cool. See, now the eyes are bugging me. Hold on. Yeah, I changed the structure a little too much. Let's see. I'm gonna have to fix that. Because if I change it too much from the original sketch, they will eventually just be like, oh, well, that doesn't look like what we approved. So I need to make sure that I make a version of this that matches the proportions that they did perfectly. So I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna use the selection tool. I'm going to grab my hokey. Just the head. I'm just gonna grab the head. I'm going to cut it out. Cut and paste, which means that it's gonna be in its own layer. And now I can go back to my original sketch. Make this one a little bit lighter. And then use the warp tool that we used before to make it match a little bit. The actual specs that I had before, but it's gonna have the same sort of like mapping that I wanted for the new one. So when I go back, boom, it should match my body a lot more. Cool, but just with the changes that I did. And I think the ear would actually look better sticking out like that. Not actually not too bad, because then I can extend it a little bit here too. Cool. Oh. Awesome, awesome. Then I can just go into my old one, body, and then I can delete the face. Digital tools allow you to have a lot of fun being able to create a lot of different versions of your stuff. No, it's really cool to be able to just sit here and endlessly doodle like things and then just eventually choose on one to be able to do as a final finished piece. Uh, I like to see digital work as more like just a way to be able to make something to make you money. So instead of like seeing it as like another tool that you would use for like sketching, I like to think of it every single time that I sit down to do something with my digital work. It should eventually lead to me having a little bit more of a portfolio or a finished piece. So if I'm gonna sit down and like play with my iPad, might as well use the time that I'm doing that to be able to create something that's gonna look really cool and I can use for a t-shirt or a sticker or something else that's gonna help me create some sort of income down the line. I know that it might seem a little excessive to think about that with every single thing you're gonna be doing digitally, but the beauty of your digital products is that if you already do it at a good quality from the beginning, you don't have to think about that. You can just get to create, and then it's already been done at a resolution that you can use to be able to sell it and stuff. So if you start from the get go and you just think about it like that, it becomes a little easier when you actually try to make money with your stuff because you'll have a lot of things that are already ready to go. Does that make sense? So this is gonna be his stomach. And then this is gonna be his shorts. So this leg is coming forward heavily into perspective. And then this one's gonna be falling back in perspective. So this one has all the little ripples pointing this way. This one's gonna have them pointing that way. Because this leg is pointing away from us. And this one's pointing towards us. And he wouldn't have much of an angle, honestly. It's the Hulk. Big toe. Big, powerful big toe. Knuckle. Little toes, little toe, and then maybe we make it a little playful, little pinky toe. Just to add a little bit of humor. There you go. Maybe that's too much of the labia. There you go. Even less. There you go. Perfect. Nice. You have toe, finger, long finger, long broken finger. Cool. Cool. It's looking nice. So I'm probably gonna put this away for now and then go back and look at it tomorrow and see if I still like the changes that I did. And if I don't, then I go back and I just start over from scratch. And I'm not gonna be afraid to start from scratch, mostly because there's no reason to be afraid of it. And if something's not looking the way you want it, that's fine to start over. There's no harm in it. Besides from like, maybe a little bit of time wasted, but it's just part of the nature of the job. Maybe less teeth here. little less deep. Makes it look more menacing. A little bit more of a shadow right here, a little bit more of a shadow right here. The pants a little darker. Cool. Dope. It's coming out pretty cool. All right. And we get to draw. Ooh, it's gonna be a taxi cab. I'm gonna have the ceiling, the front window, rear view mirror, windows, little thing that they have there, I don't know what. This one can have like a little charm coming from the hang from the window thingy. Shows a little bit of weight and direction. We have at the side of the mirrors, we have our rear view mirrors. And from there, go back. Right, and we have the side of the body. It's going to be the back of it. You don't really need to see much. And then the front of it, the top of the car. Just generic car, I guess. So, hood goes around this into whatever logo, icon. If it's a New York taxi, they don't have anything really there. All right, we're gonna have a front seat, we're gonna have a front seat, we're gonna have a steering wheel, mid console, back seat. Light, bumper. The bumper has a license plate holder. The bumper is going to have depth, so it's going to have a step. Right here, it's normally a latch, maybe like a little vent or something like that. Pointing up, whatever design. Little wheel wells on the side, and we normally get to see a tiny bit of the tire from the sides. Now this doesn't look very straight, so we gotta change the perspective on the vehicle. Just round it out. There we go. There you go, something like that. That looked good. Maybe even taper the front a little bit more. To slightly smaller features so that I can add a little bit of the side panels. There you go, something like that would be fine. Let's see, then we need to do what an Ultron robot would look like. What would an Ultron robot look like? I'll draw a little bit of the city. Hello, sir. Quick question about drawing copy. Oh, you already asked that. Oh, oh wow, you guys are like super late here. Where are you at? I'm in TJ. What time is it for you? It's around 12:27 at night. I have my puppy, I have some coffee, and I got nothing else to do right now. So I might as well jump on here and try to get some work done. So doing that and then adding a little bit of a lighter element with taller buildings and stuff like that would just generate the whole idea of a city behind them. Right, so now if I just did this in a lighter tone, lighter, not darker. Oh my god, Derwent pencil. And that completes the composition for the piece. Actually, hold on. For here, we might want to create little slabs. Let's make it 100% again. Smaller pencil, bigger pencil, bigger pencil. Right, so from here, I want to create an impact. So I might create little slabs of concrete coming up from the impact point. So making it look like he's cracking the floor, creating an impact. So I don't have to just rely on the actual elements like the little impact lines. Yeah, I could do that and kind of cheat it. But why cheat it if I can make it cool? If I can take the time, just a second, to be able to make it a little bit more accurate, a little bit cooler, why would you not take the time, right? It's a matter, again, of priorities within your art. If you feel like you need to go over the top, you're going to do it a lot more often. If you feel like you just want to get something done and then just move on to the next thing, that is how you're going to perceive things. So if you spend your time thinking, how can I make this better? Instead of thinking, oh, how can I get this done quicker? You end up with really, really much cooler art than you think. Do you ever take drawing suggestions during streams? Yeah, I do all the time. Sorry, wasn't replying to you specifically. My content seemed random. I'm West Coast too. Wait, what iPad is that you're using? It's the iPad Pro Gen 2, I believe. It's the Gen 2 version of it. Okay, so now that we have our character sketched in, roughly a little bit better than we wanted it before, right? So now it's a lot better. Now I'm gonna go into my original sketch and I'm going to delete anything that I don't need from this one, but I like to duplicate my files anyways, just so that I can revert back to them if I need to. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna eliminate anything outside of the lines that I already drew, and I'm going to keep all the sketchy lines inside of where I still have my drawing. I don't like to eliminate all the sketch lines. Why? The sketch lines are the soul of my drawing, right? If every sketch line is eliminated, it's gonna look a little bit stiff, it's gonna look a little bit So if you were going to remove them completely, do it little by little. As you replace the detail And as you see, if you see it like lacking something, or if you see it like looking a little bit too stiff, go back to your line work and see where you missed out on some flow, or a little bit of a cleaner line work, maybe some thick to thin lines, all that stuff. But at this point, I'm gonna eliminate even the robot. I can always add the robot in again. I just want to get a nice, cleaner outline of my sketch. Cool. All right, I can go back in here as well and remove any detail that's gonna obstruct things from my drawing, kind of like detail on the teeth. I need to be able to see it a little clearer, so I'm going to remove all the sketch lines from there. I don't need to do it from there, but I can do it from here. Same thing for the tongue and stuff. I need to see the detail a little bit more, since that's going to be the focal point of my piece. I need to make sure that that's the area that's really, 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 really tight. And cool. Dope. All right, this came out really cool, by the way. I really, really enjoy drawing this one. I'm just gonna bring this back to 100, just so I can go ahead and fill in some spaces. Yeah, this one, painting, drawing, inking, syrup. There you go. That's the one I like. All right, let's see anywhere else that needs to be filled in. Right here, maybe. Okay, cool. Let's go to this. And let's remove some of this detail right here. There we go. There you go. Now my piece is starting to look nice. Removing a lot of the unnecessary detail that wasn't needed. Filling in little gaps. Cool. All right. Forehead is looking good, and then we start playing around with tones. I don't know if you guys ever do this sort of stuff, but I just sit around here normally for a long time, just drawing over my drawings over and over and over and over. Not because I'm not happy with them. Most of the time it's just because I really enjoyed the process of it. I really, really enjoy the process of figuring out things. Like if something came out really nice, like I want to try to do it again and again and again and again. And I know that the second time that I try to do it is gonna look better than the first. And the third time I do it is gonna look better than the second. And if it doesn't, then I'm doing something wrong. Let's go with the darker tone. Damn, can I go super? Oh, it's because of, yeah, okay, that's fine. The super blacks are gonna have to be in it somewhere. think B's can go with the line work though. Yeah, I think that black can just be merged down into the line work, which is fine. Alright. Let's see. So I don't know what color pants the red Hulk has, but I'm gonna make them brown. And his tongue is gonna be pink. As well as my gums. Alright. Okay. The line work on my feetsies needs to go away. To make this again. Ugh, that's so bright. Alright, let's fix that. Alright, brightness. Nope, can't be that bright. It has to be green, yellow, red, purple. So red is around there. That looks okay. Might be off still colors, but whatever. Contrast is everything. Contrast is everything. If you can make something stand out a little bit, always aim to do it. You can do that through color, you can do that through shadows, you can do that through a lot of different methods. Right? But I prefer to do it through slight shadow work. Kind of like that. There you go. Cool. And his eyes should be yellow, right? I think his eyes should be yellow. Eyes looking yellow look pretty good, but let's put that over the actual line work because we need to. I want to make an effect that makes it look like it's eyes glowing. So by doing this and then adding little elements like that, and then blurring these a little can give the effect that I Nice. Yeah, that looks cool. And then with a little bit of tint of yellow, I can add a little bit of variation to his teeth. Maybe erase it a little bit. That's a little too much. There you go. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break from this and I'm going to revise this again tomorrow. And I will decide if I want to add anything else, if I want to change anything, if I think I need to add any sort of other elements, like more contrast to certain parts. I'm seeing right now that maybe adding a little bit of contrast here and here would enhance this area, but we'll figure that out tomorrow. That's for future raw to worry about. And let's see, a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks so dope. That looks cool. Watching your tutorials helped me immensely. Aww, that's so cool. Well, glad I could be of help. Alright, let's see. What do we want to play with? We already... Oh, we haven't finished the Penny Parker one yet. Do we want to work on that though? What time is it? It's 12:45. What do we want to do? I guess we could just call it a day for that. And just understand that this is going to be roughly how I turn in another rough to the client. This would let me know exactly how much more work I need to complete for them. And by doing things like this and then just working in the fashion that I did, going little by little, piece by piece, I can actually get a lot more done than I normally would. I don't know why, but taking things slowly makes me more proud of my art. And with things like this, where I get a chance to work with a little company like Marvel, and it's not going to be normal, like for me to be able to do this often. Taking the time to actually do things the right way is very important to me. It's much more important to me to do it right than it is to do it fast. So I take my time, I am very more meticulous, and I'm not too concerned with rushing it either. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not talking very much right now. I'm just kind of like zoning out and I'm enjoying like just seeing everything just kind of pop. But anyways, my good friends, you guys have a lovely night. I will come back on here tomorrow morning at some point or another. If you guys feel like more learning, you guys can always go follow my YouTube. I mean, you guys are on YouTube, so you guys don't have to go follow on YouTube. But you guys can go watch other videos because I have like over 500 of them that you guys can watch and enjoy and learn from. Okay? There's 500 or so, or more than that. and you get access to all of them if you just click on my iPad. So enjoy, have a lovely time learning, and if you guys ever become mega famous, ultra famous, all that I ask is that you guys give me a churro pass for your theme park, and that you guys let me ride all the rides like really, really early in the day, because I'll probably be old and I need to get out quickly, but because I need to enjoy my churros. I really like churros. You guys enjoy your days, all right? Take care. See you guys soon. Bye.